Order tonight's Corcoran Planning Commission meeting, and we're going to begin with a roll call. So I will start. Commissioner Scherber.
Here.
Commissioner Zachman.
Here.
Commissioner Hargreaves.
Here.
Commissioner Kozicki. Here. And Commissioner Brummond is here. And then I'd like to invite everyone to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and then next we're looking to approve tonight's agenda. And I don't believe staff has any changes.
Just one change for the, there is a typo in the numbering on the agenda. So where it says appoint vice chair, that should be labeled item 4, and every item below that should be adjusted to one additional number. So that will be reflected in the updated agenda on the city's website and in the minutes for the meeting.
Thank you, Dwight. And then anyone from the commission have any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll accept a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And anyone opposed? Okay, and so then that brings us to item number 4, which is to appoint a vice chair for this planning commission. So that position was previously held by a commissioner whose term expired. And so we need to appoint someone else. The responsibilities are to serve as the chair in the absence of the regular chair. And it does not have to be based on tenure. It could be that you appoint someone or recommend someone to be appointed to that position. So if there is anyone who has some suggestions or would like to make a recommendation, or if there's any discussion that we need to have, now is the time for that.
I would like to recommend Commissioner Kozicki. I would make that recommendation.
Great. And is there any reason why you wouldn't want to accept the position? Okay. Is there anything that we need from the two gentlemen down at the end? No.
I'll second that.
Okay, and so then do we make a motion to appoint the vice chair? Yes. Okay. Would you like to make that motion since you made the recommendation?
I would like to make that motion.
Perfect. And so you're making a motion to?
Yes. That's all together.
All right, there's been a motion to appoint Commissioner Kozicki as the vice chair of the Corcoran Planning Commission. Is there a second?
I'll second it officially.
All right, and then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? No. Okay. All right, then we're going to move on to the public comment opportunity. And what this is an opportunity for anyone from the public to address the commission on an item that is not on tonight's agenda. I do believe that everyone here is in support of the applicant for tonight or the applicant himself. And so I am just going to note that because we only take in-person comments, we will move on from the public comment opportunity, and we do not need a motion. So we will just be looking at the approval of the minutes from last April's meeting on April 2nd, 2026. Did you all have a chance to review? And if there's no changes or comments from my fellow commissioners, then I will make a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? Okay, and that takes us to tonight's new business, which is the vote. Thank you. Vote site plan, and we're going to begin with the staff report from Dwight.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, the only item under new business tonight is the vote site plan, City File 26007. This is a request from Samuel Vogt, who is requesting approval of a site plan that would allow a 40% reduction in the front yard setback at 6550 County Road 116. For a reminder, the city discretion for site plan requests is that if the proposal complies with the zoning ordinance, then the city is required to approve the site plan request. So for context, the address is, again, 6550 County Road 116. It's It's a 2.25 acre parcel that it's zoned urban reserve and guided for existing residential. Surrounding the property to the north, east, and south are properties also guided, or zoned urban reserve and guided existing residential, and to the west is zoned planned unit development and guided low-density residential. It would be the Tavera development to the west there. Natural characteristics of the site include a stream along the rear property line and a wetland in the northwest corner of the property. The proposed structure and construction area is not located near either of these areas, and the property is located in the fourth stage of the Metropolitan Urban Service Area, or the MUSA. So it's anticipated to connect to city sewer and water at a later date, but for the immediate, it would be serviced by a private septic and well system. So setbacks in the urban reserve district are 100 feet from the front property line when it's against a major roadway such as a county road, 25 feet from the side property line, and 30 feet from the rear property line. City code does allow for that front property line along county roads to be reduced by 40% through increased landscaping. And so the proposed structure does comply with the side and rear setback requirements, and the proposed front setback is 60 feet, which is 40% less than 100 feet, which would require additional landscaping. So section 1060.070 subdivision 2K gives property owners the opportunity to reduce their setback requirements along county roads through increased landscaping. So specifically, to be granted that reduced setback, for each 100 feet of requested setback, each 100 linear feet of reduced setback flexibility, property owners would have to plant 1 overstory deciduous tree, 1 overstory coniferous tree, 2 ornamental trees, and 10 understory shrubs. The applicant's proposed site plan includes 1 existing overstory tree, 1 existing overstory coniferous tree, 2 new ornamental trees, and 10 new understory shrubs. The quantities of this site plan meet what's required for the reduced setback that's being requested, and the applicant would also need to comply with the minimum plant size requirements, which are shown in the table on the screen. And in the applicant's materials, the existing plants and the proposed plants meet and or exceed these requirements. So because of this, staff recommends approval of the draft resolution approving the site plan for reduced setback along County Road 116 at 6550 County Road 116. At this point, we'd also recommend that you open the public hearing and take that vote.
Thank you, Dwight. All right, so we will go ahead and open the public hearing, which is an opportunity for members of the public to make comment regarding this site plan. So we'll give the applicant the opportunity to speak a little bit later, but right now it's just for any members of the public. So if any of those who are in support of you want to come up to the microphone and just state your name and address, there's no requirement, but we just want to give people the opportunity. And if not, we'll just move on.
I've been told I have to be quiet, so.
Okay, all right. Well, just know that the opportunity to speak came from us. We will go ahead and I'll make a motion to close the public hearing then. And all those in favor? Aye. All right. And again, we'll give the applicant the opportunity if you wanted to address anything specifically about the application, or if any commissioners have any questions for the applicant in particular. Now would be the opportunity. Yeah, if you could come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, that'd be great.
Sam Vogt, 15 South First Street, apartment A314, Minneapolis, Minnesota. I don't have anything here. On one of the previous slides, it stated that the coniferous tree was the eastern juniper, and the red sunset maple is the deciduous.
flipped.
So I just wanted to say that was flipped, but yeah, I don't really have anything else. So.
Perfect, thank you. And we will, if anyone has any questions, then we can always have you come up to the mic again as we begin our discussions. And now we'll turn to my fellow commissioners for any questions of staff or the applicant, or just if someone is ready to go ahead and make a recommendation, that is also welcomed.
I just have one question that's probably not even pertinent to us approving this, but if you guys decided to make it an ADU in the future, you'd literally have to reduce the footprint of the building, is what it sounded like?
I think it was.
I think reduce the living area or something.
Yeah, and that wasn't clear either, because sometimes they say footprint, sometimes they say living area, and that wasn't clear to me what.
We can give Dwight the opportunity to specify
the
or
garage
clarify
size.
what's listed because it meets the requirements. It is under the maximum for an accessory storage or accessory structure for that property.
For structure, but.
Right,
maybe
it would
you
just be if it
decide-
was an accessory dwelling unit that they sought a rental license for, then it would be in excess.
That's correct, Madam Chair. Yeah, we talk about footprint a lot when we're talking about accessory structures, but for accessory dwelling units, that's floor area specifically. So accessory dwelling units in the urban reserve district have a maximum floor area of 960 square feet. So the livable area inside of this structure, if it were to be converted to an EDU, just can't exceed 960 square feet. So that can include expanding the attached garage to take up some of that floor area.
So it doesn't include the garage part.
Correct, yeah, it's just the living space.
So they wouldn't have to go and like take a wall out of the structure and then reduce the space that way. That's a good
And that's
question.
only for if they want to rent it out.
That's if it were, yeah, if it were used as any living space.
Yeah, family member wants to live there, or whatever. It would be kind of hard to reduce this size.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, I will second the motion to approve. I think it looks like a great site plan. Staff, I want to say thank you for doing such a thorough job on the staff report. It was really very clear, and also for helping the applicant figure out a way to get out here while you're working on building a more permanent home. I think that this is a great option. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
And anyone opposed? All right, so then what happens at this point is we make a recommendation to the council, and so then this will go on the city council's agenda. And my guess is, well, we can ask, we don't have to guess, we can ask staff if they know when that is going to be on their agenda, and if it will be on the consent agenda, or if it will be,
Yeah, so this item, since it's a unanimous vote to recommend approval, it will be listed under the consent agenda for the May 28th city council meeting. So that's when the final decision will be made.
and so consent agenda means that they have an opportunity to just make a one large vote for approval or denial on a large number of items. But I would recommend making, like, availing yourself, just because sometimes a council member would pull an item for an additional question or something like that. So it's a great opportunity to get to know who your council members are, but then just be there in the event that it were to be pulled. But that's what'll happen next. All right, well, thank you for being here, and you're welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting. At this point in time, what we have next is just any questions regarding the planning project update. And those will be questions for staff, and I actually do have one, so I'm gonna start. And my question is for the Ulfers Garage CUP. So it did not come up during our review of this item that there was a home occupation license. And so I guess I am just wondering if that's something where the applicant indicated and now they're pursuing, or if that's something, like, how did that come to be?
Sure, yeah, so the home occupation was something that was brought up both by the applicant and by the neighbor. It didn't come up during the conditional use permit review process because it's not being used in conjunction with the building. The building's being used for personal use, and the site is, other parts of the site are being used for home occupation. So we're working with that applicant to get the occupation into compliance with the home occupation section of the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
And get that squared away so that when the council re-reviews that conditional use permit, there's a better understanding of what that relationship looks like, and the site as a whole, everything that's going on with the property.
Okay, the reason I ask is that I remember the only reason that it was the sidewall height. So had we changed, or had we had different standards for sidewall height, what would the outcome have been compared to what the outcome currently is?
I think the outcome in either scenario would be pretty similar.
Okay.
Because it's two functions happening on the property at the same time. It's
Okay.
the sidewall height request and a code enforcement
Okay,
case
okay,
that aren't necessarily related other than them being on the same property.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we would have been notified the same way and would have responded in the same manner that we are.
the difference would have just been, that an administrative approval does not notify neighbors through the 500-foot, notification process, is that correct? Like an administrative approval, so like had somebody said, I want to request permit to put up this accessory structure, and everything fell under standard code, right? Would it, in that case, something that's administratively approved does not notify neighbors, it's notified because it's a public hearing opportunity.
So we have some administrative permit
Okay.
requests that require
Notification. Okay.
through the mail, and since the ordinance right now doesn't allow us to approve that sidewall height administratively, if we were to amend that section of code, that's certainly something that we can include as a condition, is like, before an administrative permit can be issued, a notice is mailed out to everyone in 500-foot radius,
Sure.
and then
Okay.
their comments can be considered
Okay.
as part of that review
Okay.
process.
Okay, just something to keep in mind if we do get to the point where we get to review that standard. Did anybody else have any additional questions or concerns? Okay, and then the last thing before we move into the liaison calendar is, so, last meeting briefly, we had talked about, July 4th is on a Saturday. However, we typically have our meetings on Tuesdays, and now I'm gonna get up my calendar so I don't start saying regular dates, or excuse me, Thursdays. Hello, today is a Thursday. So we could, typically, the meeting for July would be scheduled on July 2nd. However, in the event that we end up bumping into a holiday or something, we can always, as long as we have enough time to notify, we can change that to a Tuesday. And so I had made the suggestion, or I had made the inquiry as to whether the 7th, which is a Tuesday, worked better for people than scheduling a meeting on the 2nd. And so I just want to check in again, so that we can come to a consensus and let staff know before tonight is over.
Tuesday would work for me.
I prefer Tuesday.
Okay.
7th.
I would as well, but I didn't want to make a recommendation just to be, if it only was for me. Commissioner Hargreaves, do you have a?
Nope, that's fine.
That would work, and then Commissioner Zachman, okay. So can we just make a request that we schedule July's meeting, if there is a meeting for July, on the 7th, Tuesday, same time, rather than, okay,
And I don't think we need a vote for that. I think we can just.
okay. Do you want us to take a vote just in case? So we're covered?
Why not?
Just so we're covered? Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to move the July Planning Commission meeting to the Tuesday, the 7th at 7 PM.
I'll second it.
And then all those in favor, say aye. Aye. And anyone opposed? Okay, and then if no one has anything else, I will make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and anyone opposed? Nope, all right.